And welcome inside the Backstage Pass. It is Wednesday, May 17th, 2023. Of course, always powered by our friends over at the Sports Guys Podcast.com and presented by our friends at Honky Tonk, Texas. This Friday night we'll be out there. Clay Hollis and Randall King. Show times are going to be awesome. Pre-sale tickets have gone very well. You can still get them at honkytonktexas.us. And, of course, Bangtail Whiskey. We love to drink here and drink responsibly. We do. On the Backstage Pass, check them out at bangtail.com or Total Wine and Specs in Nashville. Up there, Live Oak, the bar is fantastic out there. And our friends at Gentle Ben Spirits, the vodka, the gin, the bourbon is fantastic. If you love to drink out there too, as well, mix those cocktails. Don't labor through it. Enjoy it at gentleben.com or go by the tasting room in Alvin, Texas. Well, I tell you what, this is the first show I've done in my, like I say, lifetime, but at least here on the Backstage Pass. He's in Vidor, Texas. I'm in Beaumont, Texas. And he's a face I've been listening to for quite some time. So glad he got sent to me in my media releases there a couple of weeks ago. Donice Morace joins us here on the Backstage Pass. Donice, what's up, man?
Hey, Brandon. How you doing, brother?
It's good to have you, man, on here. And I love this hometown connection.
We're about 12 miles apart, huh?
Literally 20 miles apart right here, less than a half an hour to make this show happen too. Well, I tell you what, hey, you've been around the Texas scene a long time. I know who you are, but let's say for the listeners tuning in and the viewers out there who may not, Texas was huge, man. I know then you moved off, you came back, you've opened for a lot of great talent out there, such as Cody Johnson. The hometown boys were huge influences of yours with Mark Chestnut, Clay Walker, who we had on the show last fall during one of the Vidor Pirate football games, the telecast, the homecoming. But let's say for the people that don't know your music and don't know Donice as a country artist, tell them a little bit about yourself and kind of that story, which has been a really cool ride, man.
Yeah, man, it's been a whirlwind. I started playing guitar when I was 6. Went out to, my dad would bring me to Cutters when Mark and Tracy were out there, and it was like school to me. So I was watching and trying to learn, and I went off to college, went to A&M, and I came back one weekend. I remember George Strait was playing the Beaumont Civic Center.
Mm-hmm.
It was about the time where he had the 4 mics around the stage, and he'd, each song he'd go to the next mic. But I remember he came out and he said, "Man, it's good to be here in Corpus Christi, Texas."
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap! He didn't even know where he is. He's having a blast. I'm sold. This is what I'm doing. So yeah, I moved off to Atlanta, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
I sang at the Cowboys Dance Hall there as a house band for about 5 years. We sang 5 nights a week, but every Friday night they would bring in a national act.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd open for them. But it was cool because I, share my dressing room with them and maybe pick their brain a little bit. Then I go watch their show and figure out what I could steal from them. And then I ended up moving back and started singing around here again. And about 10 years ago, I did a show in Jasper, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the name of the place was Doug's. I don't think it exists anymore, but it was with Cody Johnson. I'd never met Cody before, but we hit it off that night. And he said, "Man, I've got this album I just recorded with this guy. His name is Trent Willman.
Mm-hmm.
He's in Nashville, but he's a Texas boy." I said, I remember who Trent is. I remember him as an artist. But he said, "Yeah, he when you get ready to record, you need to contact him. Here's his number. He knows what you're looking for." So fast forward a couple years, because I did not have the funds to put out any music. So I ended up refinancing my house and using that money.
Mm-hmm.
And I called Trent. Didn't get him immediately, but he called back the next day and he said, "I did my homework on you." Yeah, I was name dropping like a like a monster. Yeah. But he said, "Yeah, I did my homework on you. I'd like to work with you." So really, I owe so much to Cody and to Trent because they've opened up so many doors that would have never opened for me before. So that was huge for me.
Yeah, I mean, take me back, and go back to this 2017 before we start getting into the new album, This Life I Love, which is out there across all the digital platforms, came out April 14th. WD-40 and Duct Tape. I go back to 2017 when this was on, Texas Regional Radio Report. This was high when it came to before streaming really got big. And this was, I mean, when I guess in a way CDs are still relevant, at least to me they are. I always try to buy them when I go out to a show, and I will try to buy some this week going out to Clay Hollis and Randall King. But that really kind of got some things even more rolling forward with you and the music and things like that. Remind people just of that song and how big that was on the Texas country charts.
Yeah, I think we got it. You know, people couldn't even pronounce my name at the time, but they were playing it anyway. That was my second radio single. The song itself, I almost did not get because Trent was co-writer on it, along with another guy, Aaron Schertz from Houston. But Easton Corbin had it and was headed to the studio with it, and Trent called him, "Hold up, I've got a guy here. I think I want to do this." So I was really lucky to get that song, and it ended up going to number 14. I think we peaked at number 14 on the Texas charts. But yeah, it kind of opened up some doors for me. It's a fun song.
No, it was a cool thing because you guys had an EP out at the time, and it was on that particular EP. Good Time Machine was on there, the last one. And I believe there's another one I remember that went very high up there. A Good Hurt Coming On. Remind people of that one a little bit.
Oh man, yeah, that was my first single. I wrote that one with Jason Green out of Lumberton. I don't know.
I know Jason. Yeah.
Jason wrote some hits for Clay Walker. So we were writing together, and I admittedly was listening to a lot of Chestnut and Waylon at the time. So that probably came out in that song. So you probably hear a little bit of both of them in there.
No, it's fan. Like I said, I love the music. Been around that for, like I said, a long time. Take me through a little bit of the second album there that came out there. Long Live the Cowboy, because there was a lot of great songs off of there too. Man in the Moonshine, the title track itself too. Through the Jukebox was, I know, a single you guys had put out too. Long Live the Cowboy. A lot of cool things on that one too. But also too, what I love about you and the word I'm going to describe is I always try to give that buzzword of the day for an artist, whoever my guest is, we're featuring on the show. You are authentic, and about as authentic as it comes when it comes to real music. You can hear it, feel it, love it, and you're such a great storyteller. Talk about, I guess, how important authentic is, and between that, you've reflected that on every album, and you did that again with Long Live the Cowboy.
I think I may get that from my influences. I had some great guys to watch and learn. You know, I mentioned going and watching Mark Chestnut and Tracy Bird at Cutters every night, you know, and watching how they dealt with people, and especially Tracy. If he didn't have a music career, he could have been a politician. I'm going to tell you what. He could run for mayor today, I guarantee you. But he's very genuine and authentic. So Cody is the same way. I think a lot of Cody Johnson, and so I'm sure it rubbed off on me a little bit.
I loved it too, and love the song, and I love so much. I'm sure there's a good story behind every country song. What is it? 3 Chords and the Truth. But something that really hit home for me was Through the Jukebox, and that really, like I said, single and the album Long Live the Cowboy kind of remind people a little bit of that taste and kind of what they felt when they heard that song. And I know that was one of your favorites out there.
That was my favorite song on that record. That was another one I almost didn't get. That one was written by Bradley Addington, but Midland had that song, and they were headed to the studio. And I don't know if Trent made a mafia pitch to him. You know, I'm not threatening. I'm just saying accidents happen. I don't know, but we ended up with that song, and to this day, that is the most streamed record every week. Out of every one of my songs, even my new ones, that was the big one.
Well, I tell you what, again, the albums live up to it. I mean, like I said, it's definitely you show the Texas roots off in there too, the true Texas country sound. I love it, and This Life I Love is across all the digital platforms. And we're going to take a quick timeout for our friends over there at Bangtail Whiskey, and of course at Gentle Ben Spirits doing the Prosecco process there. They don't labor through their drink. They enjoy it. Sit back and raise a glass with their good friends over at gentleben.com. Get your order in there, and also bangtail.com for some great whiskey. More with Donice Morace here on the Backstage Pass, again, powered by the Sports Guys Podcast.com. Don't forget Friday night, Honky Tonk Texas. Randall King, Clay Hollis out there coming up this week. We'll be out there and having a good time, as always, out there. HonkyTonkTexas.us. You get tickets out there with our good friend Derek Billingsley of Honky Tonk Texas. More with Donice here on the Backstage Pass coming back with a performance, and we're going to talk a lot about the new record out there too as well. It is the Backstage Pass. Hang tight. More to come.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Murrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. Back here on the show again, Donice Morace here on the show. Vider, Texas native, Texas country too, and of course the album out there across all the digital platforms. It just came out April 14th. This Life I Love, and I do love a lot of the life on that album too when it comes down to it, including the title track. Back here presented by our friends at Bangtail Whiskey, Gentle Ben Spirits, and of course Honky Tonk Texas. I'm assuming we're going to hear one off of this album right now. This has got to be a fantastic album. Looking forward to talking about all the songs. Dealer's choice, man.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing one off of the Long Live the Cowboy album and doing one off of this album. Right. We can go ahead and do the one off the brand new album if you want.
That'll work. Whatever order you want to do it in, brother.
Shoot, yeah, man. Here's one that I wrote with Mark Nessler. I don't know if you remember Mark Nessler, but he's my riding buddy. He and Tony Martin, and we were coming up through the honky tonks. We see the same cast of characters just about everywhere we go. And it's funny to us. So we decided to write about it. And it came out in this song called That's What I'm Talking About.
Yeah, that's a good one. Here we go.
Tonight we're all Johnny Paycheck, cash in and pocket and little in the bank. Nobody knows like a local which bartender makes the stiffest drinks. That's what I'm talking about. Right in the middle of a Friday night crowd. I hear we got some barrel racers in town. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. If I see a pretty Loretta, you can bet I can turn my Conway on. Ain't no dance hall doctor, I can two-step her all the way home. That's what I'm talking about. Right in the middle of a Friday night crowd. We got the shot bullies bite around. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Talk it out. That's what I'm talking about. Right in the middle of a big breakdown. If you with me, y'all, let's get loud. That's what I'm talking about. right in the middle of a Friday night ground. Let's send them drunk group selfies out. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, talk it out. Yeah, talk it out.
I love that song, and that's what makes that album stand out even more. Is those catchy phrases? That's what I'm talking about here on the Backstage Pass with Donice Morace here on the show, presented by our friends at Bangtail Whiskey, Gentle Ben Spirits, and of course Honky Tonk Texas. What I'm talking is on that album, This Life I Love, which is across all those digital platforms. Love the idea, love the arrangement, and just a feel good dance hall song. Wants to make you get on the dance floor and just really enjoy it out there, two-stepping with your significant other, and music does that too as well. Hey, I love this one because another one off of there that really struck me, and kind of, again, those three chords of the truth, the authenticity. We talk about in your music when you hear something. Guitars get girls. Let's break that one down a little bit.
Guitars get girls. So last 2 years ago, over the holidays, Kevin Fowler asked me to be on his Christmas tour. And so we did a few shows together, and it really opened my eyes. So he really influenced this particular song. His show had so much freaking energy, Brandon. And man, I've got to step my game up. This guy, he's got him eating out of the palm of his hand. And so this was kind of a tip of the hat to Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
Guitars.
I love that one too, no doubt. I tell you another one that was really good out there so much, and it was very, very kind of that haunting, kind of seductive feel to it a little bit. And again, you're true to what you stand out as an artist, to your brand. You've grown so much artistically over the years. The songs really reflect that. One Drink In. Let's talk a little bit about this one too, because always fun to do. It's also on the album This Life I Love. Let's break that one down a little bit.
Yeah, so that was the first of the trilogy of songs that we released to radio. This song I knew from the moment I heard the demo, that was a hit. I've got to. I can't record this thing quick enough. I love it because it's. I don't believe in love at first sight. I really think you probably need to go through a few things together to be in love. But this song is about the infatuation part, where you don't see any faults in the other, where you're just, blissfully ignorant. And that's what this song is about. It's all that. It's all the good stuff.
I love it. And like I said, there's so many great songs on there too. And again, it's the decade I grew up in, the same thing you did. I used to go to Cutters. We go to Cactus Canyon and a whole bunch of the other ones out there too to have fun. And it was that 90s flavor, that 90s feel of country music that really just brought it to life. And I always say it's often imitated, but never duplicated. I don't think that ever, to me, at least in my opinion on it as it goes, everybody knows opinions are like, everybody's got one. But I still feel 89 to that 02 or somewhere in there, maybe even 87, 88. Just that particular era of country music. And I think there's a little bit of a thirst coming back for it now, at least the people I talk to, and the word that kind of goes around the industry. You kind of feel like listening to some of the artists I have here on the program, and even some of the ones that I haven't talked to yet. That's a good thing for the industry, because I really feel like, I say never duplicate, will it come back? But I think there's some artists really like yourself trying to honor that tradition, that legacy of that particular era. Why is that so important? And I guess too, is it good to see it making a comeback?
Yeah, you're exactly right. I've always said that the 90s were probably the best decade of country music. It's what I consider country music. And yes, we have drifted far away from that. And I think people are starving for, for what they consider country, and not what some lawyer in Nashville thinks is country.
No, and that's and like I said, with all due respect to everybody who's doing it now these days, man, it's just something about, and I'll say one of those songs we'll talk to you after we go to break here a little bit, was Going, Going, which is the top song on that record, This Life I Love, which that is a fantastic roller coaster ride, 90s feel if there ever was one, traditional country, whatever you want to call it. That is a fantastic vibe, which really sets the tone for that album too as well. And we're going to come back another performance. We got rapid fire and so much more to do with Donice here on the show. Again, hometown boy to hometown boy. Looking forward to hanging out this week, this Friday, May 19th. Doors open, I'm sure, around 5 or 6, and get in there. Clay Hollis will probably come on, like I said, right there before 9 o'clock and set the tone for the great Randall King here on the program. In fact, Clay just texted me the other day, said I'm opening for him. I had no idea that was going to happen. I told Clay, I said, we got to get you back here on the show too. We'll do another great Texas artist out there too. This Friday night, tickets, honkytalktexas.us. The pre-sale have been very good out there, and love to see Randall play here back in our hometown, a place that Donice has played a few times out here too at Honky Tonk Texas. Also, Gentle Ben Spirits, the vodka, the gin, the bourbon, fantastic. Get your order in now at gentleben.com or go by the tasting room in Alvin, Texas, just south of us. And of course, our friends at Bangtail Whiskey. More with Donice here on the Backstage Pass, powered by the Sports Guys podcast.com. Don't forget, here in a couple of weeks, a Super Bowl winning quarterback is coming here on the Backstage Pass to talk a little football. I'm going to tell Donice who that is off air too as well. For everybody else, we'll keep it a surprise here on the Backstage Pass. More to come here. Time out for Gentle Ben and our friends over at Bangtail. Hang tight. Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
And back here on the show again, Donice Morace joining us here. This Life I Love across all the digital platforms, which you guys continue to get those streaming numbers up, and go check out just some great 90s type of country music out there too. You'll love every song on there, just like I did too. Well written, lyrically very good. So let's talk about this one, Donice, Going, Going, which really set the tone for this record. I thought this was a good way just to have a good time. I drive a pickup truck and I drive back and forth to work every day, so putting this on was an easy choice.
You know, it is my favorite track on the new album. I love it. It's you know, not everything's a tailgate party. So at some point you got to sing about real stuff, and this is it's a sad song with a beat you can dance to. So.
Yeah. Man, the writing behind it was really good. Is this one you did not write, or you get your hands on? How did this come about?
I did not write this. Nestler wrote this one.
Nestler, okay.
Yeah, he's a great writer. I write with him. It was funny. We were in a writing session, and we got done writing the song, and we were pretty pumped about it. He said, "Hey, I've got a couple more I want to send to you to see what you think." And he sent me One Drink In. He sent me Going, Going. He sent me Wait Till I'm Gone. And I'm like, okay, I've got to record all these. You realize that?
Well, like I said, he's got a full catalog of stuff that he's done over his career, and he's been one of the best songwriters of all time, too, no doubt. And many have come from the Southeast Texas area, too, down here to really put their
finger. From Bermuda, Texas, no doubt, huh?
Yeah, Bermuda, Texas, no doubt, too. Well, I'll tell you what, time for that second performance. I know you mentioned one off the old record. What's the dealer's choice? What you got?
Dude, we were talking about it a while ago, that Through the Jukebox.
All right.
You know, Midland had it in their hand, and I can really see the band Midland recording this. I can hear them doing it, but so glad we got it.
I'm glad you got it too. Here we go.
She ain't impressed with the worn out lines. Even your best falls short every time. Though there ain't a drink that you can buy, take it from me, you ought to try. Talking to through the jukebox, playing what her heart wants to hear. Dial it up a late night long shot, catch her attention by catching her ear. When that needle drops down and the vinyl spins around, the only chance you've got is talking to through the jukebox. Amarillo by morning, tequila sunrise. I fall to pieces, gentle on my mind. King of the road, set 'em up, Joe. If she's singing along, then you'll know that you're talking to through the jukebox, playing what her heart wants to hear. Dial it up a late night long shot, catch her attention by catching her ear. When that needle drops down and the vinyl spins around, the only chance you've got is talking to through the jukebox. Under the neon, backed up to the wall, yeah, man, I played 'em all. Talking to through the jukebox, playing what her heart wants to hear. Dial it up a late night long shot, catch her attention by catching her ear. When that needle drops down and the vinyl spins around, the only chance you've got is talking to through the jukebox. Yeah, I'm talking to through the jukebox. Yeah, I'm always talking to through the jukebox.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, man. Just hit your horse there with the rope through the jukebox right there too. It reminds me of a place. And when I say this, you're gonna make me think you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about too. Okay, so we talked about 90s country back here with Donice on the backstage pass. That was through the jukebox off the Long Live the Cowboy record too. So I go back to a place many moons ago called Gary's Coffee Shop. Now you might remember this.
Yes.
Back in the day, where you'd go there, brother, you'd put that quarter in. You'd select it, whatever you wanted, E5, D9, whatever it was. And you had some of the best songs come through that jukebox. And that really made me go back to 30-something years ago, whatever it was. I'm an old man now. But love Gary's Coffee Shop, the friendly family atmosphere that it was right there on Main Street in Vidor, Texas. And I know now it's a donut shop there too. But that's the kind of stuff you want to hear on. I'm so glad you got your hands on it. And again, I know Midland's a great band. But you really put some great vocals to a great song there, and it just took me back to the memory of Gary's back in the day. And hey, man, they had some good chili at that place too. They really did. So,
oh man, everything was so good there. That was our after show place.
It was the place to go to. Like I said, and definitely just love the town of Vidor. They've done so much over the years. And, of course, it's a pleasure now to be the voice of the Vidor Pirates. We're getting ready for our season coming up here again, season 2 here on CajunCountryRadio.com with Robbie Lynn and my good friend Kevin Mercado and, of course, Mary. It's just a great thing out there. And just love, man, broadcasting football. And like I said, last year, you never know who's going to come by. Clay Walker comes up there and spends the little homecoming with us and does some drops. And calling a football game with Clay Walker, that's a memory I'll have for a long time. Again, this Life I Love out there across all the digital platforms. Came out April 14th. Make sure you guys go download and stream it and check out his website, DoniceMorace.com. All right, I'm going to finish up with this. Love having a little fun with this. Got to bring some sports into the conversation with you because you see the hat I'm wearing here. Of course, you never think it's going to happen once in your lifetime, much less twice when it does, to do that for the Houston Astros. But it seems like things are turning the corner a little bit here. Baseball fan, is it the Astros for you?
Oh, definitely. They got off to a slow start this year. I think we've been spoiled.
Yeah.
But I think they're coming into form now, and we'll start getting guys back off the injured reserve, and I think we'll be good to go second half. We're just a quarter of the way through the season, so
yeah,
a lot of baseball to play.
Yeah, just 42 in, going with a sweep of the Cubs tonight, and of course the A's over the weekend, who are a terrible team, soon to be the Las Vegas Athletics over the next few years too. And yeah, it's kind of cool because I was listening to the telecast last night with the guys on AT&T Sportsnet, Todd and Jeff, and Todd's a very good friend of mine. Todd Callis has been on my program for a lot of years now, and we've talked Astros baseball from time to time in segments. But I love this, and I haven't asked this question since it came out. It was on their Twitter Tuesday last night. The expansion for Major League Baseball. Like, I would love to see teams in Nashville and maybe Montreal. You look at the A's moving to Vegas. Not sure what Tampa's going to do over the next few years to get their stadium done. Is there a city that maybe comes up? I heard Austin. I heard maybe some teams down in, even internationally, Monterrey, Mexico. The game's becoming so much international. Who would you like to see from an expansion standpoint, or what city?
I think San Antonio would be a good market. They already have a basketball team. I think San Antonio will be good. It's nice to have three Texas baseball teams. So yeah, I don't know. They were talking about I know they mentioned Monterrey, Mexico, and I'm like, man, that's okay. But I tell you what I don't like. I don't like being in the AL West because all of our games seem to be not so much this year, but in years past, most of our games seem to be on the West Coast, and they come on at 9 or 9:30 at night. Yeah, I get sleep.
Sleep. Bobby, especially with a 3-year-old, I'm always 9:30, 10. It's like I'm out, and that's not going to be the case this Friday night. But most nights it's like 9:30, 10 o'clock. You're out.
Well, yeah,
not at home. You're a West Coast game. You're not watching. I guess you're getting up at whatever 6 o'clock in the morning to go to the day job the next day, and you're checking the score, or at least waking up throughout the night. Maybe use the restroom. You're like, okay, did they win? What's the score now? Astros.com or whatever it's out there. So you can always enjoy it. All right, football for the state of Texas. Who does it for you?
Are we talking college or NFL?
Let's do. Well, I know what you're going to say for college, but college, Texas A&M Aggies, no doubt. What's your take there? Let's go there first. Jimbo Fisher, and now the direction of the program over the next, definitely 5-6 years left on the big contract they gave him. Recruiting, we know what it's been like the last couple of years. Some players have been underutilized. They're not getting the results they want. Give me a take on the Aggies.
I think we're going to have a comeback here this year. We're going to surprise some folks. There's a lot of people in our conference, which is the SEC, that are breaking in a new quarterback this year, and we have one, and we have a good one. Weigman's amazing, and so we have 19 of the 22 starters from that last game that we beat LSU last year. They're coming back. 19 of those 22 starters. So we were really young last year and injured. So that was like a 50-year. I don't know. There had to been a record. We had so many guys injured, but I'm looking at us competing probably with surprise LSU for the for the West.
I'm with you on that too. We need a rebound year. I'm married to Nagy, love her to death, and I tell you this, it is a rebound season with Weigman, and you mentioned that. I know Devon Achane has gone to the NFL too, so this has got to be critical year of the 7-8 year deal that Jimbo got. I think some new head coaches coming in too, and some offensive and defensive coordinators, the way they changed that. So I'm real high on the Aggies hopefully returning to the top of the SEC West too. All right, sad note here. Football NFL wise, I know for me it's the Arizona Cardinals, and I'm in the rebuilding mode now with a Texas guy in Kyler Murray. But the other team in the household is the Dallas Cowboys. Is it the Cowboys for you NFL wise?
It's been the Cowboys for me since first grade. So I was playing Little League football, and the first team I was on was the Cowboys, divider, flag, and tackle league. And so I started watching the Cowboys then, and I've never stopped. I've been in with them through thick and thin, a lot of thin, but there were some good times in there too.
No doubt, some Super Bowl titles, and hopefully getting back there over the next few years, and Dak and the guys returning it to the promised land. Of course, McCarthy. We'll see what the future of this season. Of course, the NFL schedules just came out too. We'll see how Dallas responds to theirs. I mentioned last week, or maybe I didn't mention it too, but I love the always the major award shows. The Academy Country Music Awards were last week in Frisco at the Star. Pretty cool to see everybody come out decked out, red carpet stuff, and their beautiful gear, and ladies with the dresses, guys with the suits, things like that, just decked out and really kind of flamboyant and really just dressing of who they want to be. For you, I'm gonna tell you what did it for me. Two things: Cody's performance with "Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys." Yep. Was that your moment?
Yep, that was my moment too.
I was gonna ask you about that. If that did it for you,
that did it for me. That did it for me. When he changed the words at the end, "Mamas Don't Let Your Cowboys Grow Up to Be Babies."
That was a good.
I mean what I said.
No, he did. The other thing I think was stood out, and she rightfully deserved it too, because I had to go back and listen to the show we had with her a couple of years ago. But congratulations to all the winners, but especially Lainey Wilson. It is so cool to see this movement. Women of country now do this, and I've had many of them I featured here on this show. What's your thought now? Just we talked about it, the 90s country field trying to make a comeback, but this ladies of country music now over the last few years with Lainey and Lindsay L., Ashley McBride, Carly Pierce, and this Stephanie Quayle, this talent of female country come back. What's your take on that?
It's pretty strong, and I'm loving it. They're not your grandpa's country. They're just not. But they got a little sass to them, and I like that. I like that. And Lainey's looking good. Lainey lost some weight. She looked like a completely different person in that award show. She looked great.
Just love her music, and I think Heart Like a Truck, and of course just the songs that Lainey has connected with over the years that I've been able to feature her here on the show and talk to her about her journey. It's a really cool interview. Obviously, if you missed it, the sportsguyspodcast.com. You can go back there and check it out too as well. And we just released one we did with Don McLean just last week on a Flashback Friday. We had fun with that one too. Well, I tell you, I love his music. He is a hometown Texas boy. You got to go follow him out there. I'm looking forward to hopefully hanging out with him this week on Friday at Honky Tonk, Texas, May 19th. Randall King, Clay Hollis are out there playing their asses off. Go out there and support local live music out there too. DoniceMorace.com and This Life I Love across all the digital platforms. Donice, appreciate the time. Great to catch up, my friend. Keep kicking ass and taking names in your music, which is very authentic. Hope you had a great time, and looking forward to seeing you this week.
I did. Thank you so much, Brandon. Appreciate it.
You got it. DoniceMorace.com and This Life I Love, the current album out there across all the digital platforms. Tomorrow, Frank Ray stops by. We'll talk to Frank about his upcoming self-titled album due out July 7th. And next week, big week out there. May Estes, Derek Randall coming here on the show too as well here on the Backstage Pass. Some home run hitters over the next few weeks. And we're tracking down that Super Bowl winning quarterback over the next few weeks. And also stopping by, former Astro and current Rangers broadcaster C.J. Nitkowski here on the program. You might know who that is. Also, MLB Network Radio hosts a podcast called Loud Outs. CJ will be here on the Backstage Pass. We'll talk Texas Ranger baseball. So a lot of great shows coming up over the next few weeks. Again, DoniceMorace.com and This Life I Love across all the digital platforms. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 4 with Frank Ray on the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Until then, take care.